completely agree with you, Armin, saying that what Trump has been saying as in the position that he's in, even if he doesn't mean it, it's quite detrimental to Israel's stance as is viewed by Americans and actually worldwide as well. Like Iranians also pay attention to that, and a lot of them are on the fence about Israel's position. So I just kind of wanted to get a discussion going based on that, because I was thinking that he's just bluffing and pretending, but today's speech was weird. It almost seemed as if he was purposely trying to just appease the Muslim population and the viewership, and more so like the Arabs, the Persian Gulf Arabs, because he just kept and then he said that the Syrian leader is going to do a better job dealing with Hezbollah. I forget his name, which is nonsense. Like, why would you want him dealing with them instead of Israel? So, yeah, I just wanted to get you guys to take on it. Thanks.
Okay, Sketch has a response.
But before Sketch, I just want to respond to it really quickly, right? I know there's going to be disagreements on this, and many people are frustrated with President Trump regarding how he's talking about Israel. Many people think that, what are you guys talking about? Obviously, these are mind games. Obviously, there's a strategy here. Obviously, this is actually what he's saying. This, if you interpret it this way, it will actually makes complete sense. Some people, okay, so I do want to, whatever it is, and honestly, like, I could come up with I could tell you what the strategy could be. It could be, yeah, guys, like, we have a whole bunch of people who are in United States voting. They're frustrated with Israel. I need to say these things so that the Democrats don't win too much in the midterms, and then because that would be devastating. So these are the things that need to be said. Like, there are many different reasons why people could come up with why President Trump is saying this way. So it's either, but I think it's not a false dichotomy to say it's either real or it's not real. Actually, it is a false dichotomy because it could be something in between, right? It could be a little bit of both. So yeah, I think it's one of these three options. It's either all fake, he's not fighting with Prime Minister Netanyahu, or it's all real and they're completely in direct conflict, or the third option, something in between, right? So these are the three options. Well, whatever it is, and I'm pretty sure people who think are on one side of this or the other, they're going to be very passionate, and they're 100% sure, like, well, not 100%, but they're very sure about their position being the correct one. The people who are saying this is 5D chess, this is what he actually means, they're pretty certain that this is what's happening. And the people on the other side who are like, guys, open your eyes, how many excuses you want to make for President Trump regarding anything that he says, they're also pretty much on that side, and it's very unlikely for them to change their position. Whatever is happening, and whatever potential benefits this has, what President Trump is saying, we can't deny that the wording itself is damaging to Israel, especially in the United States, right? We know many people in the United States respect President Trump and follow what he says and agree with what he says. And at a time where Israel is losing more and more support and popularity in the United States, coming out and suggesting, again, I know some people's interpretation is going to be different, Sketch, but many people's understanding is that President Trump is saying that Israel does a bad job when it comes to war against Hezbollah, and it seems like they don't care about civilians, which couldn't be farther from the truth, right? President Trump seems to at least be suggesting that he had something to do with bringing Jolani into power, and he likes the Jolani or al-Shara, a former ISIS Al-Qaeda, more than he likes the Israelis, and he thinks that they could do a better job against Hezbollah. That is the face of what he's saying, right? Again, I know there's interpretations that could justify what he's saying, but at the face of it, this is what people are hearing. And none of it, at the face of it, it couldn't be farther from the truth, right? And we know that, but most of us here know that. We celebrate Israel for many reasons, including the fact that they actually do care about civilian lives, and they always do better than any military to try to have civilian casualties. And also, you cannot trust the Syrian army as it is right now. And that is we all know that they would never be able to do anything remotely close to what Israel is capable of doing. And you cannot trust them, and you cannot rely on them, even if they are, if they are, some people think they're going to be more efficient because they have less limitations on civilian casualties. That is not true. Israel, with its self-imposed limitation, will always be more efficient than any Syrian army. And it's not even close. So, given the negative effect on these statements on the American public, American voters and stuff, and how much anti-Israeli hate is rising in the United States, and this will add into that. Whatever the potential benefits that some people believe in is, and they might be right, and the potential benefits could be outweighing the cost to Israel right now. This harm is there, and whatever Trump is doing, we can't control that. Whatever Israel doing, we can't control that. I just want to go back to encouraging the fact that this just means that we have to do more work in supporting Israel, especially in the United States. Whatever President Trump's 5D chess plan is, and I hope it's a good one, and I hope it makes sense for some reason, but whatever that great plan is, we can't deny that this is a huge damage to Israel's PR in the United States. And focusing on what we can do, we need to do damage control, and we need to do work even harder than before, because supporting Israel is not supporting Israel. Supporting Israel is supporting the whole world. Supporting everybody benefits. Everybody on the planet benefits from a stronger Israel. And I think as soldiers of liberty here, one of the most helpful things that all of us could do here is, in the battle of narratives, to keep defending Israel, no matter what other plans or reasons other people have to speak badly of Israel. Even if it's a good one, if we're fighting for liberty, we have to be fighting for Israel. Anyway, sorry, that went longer than I thought.
All right. Sketch.
Yeah, America loves free speech. We have used our speech however we want since 1776. We have agreements. We're not bound by them. We can break any agreement we want at any time. We love our free speech, and our free speech is used against us. People talk shit about America, have been talking shit about America for a long time. You think some disinformation, something wrong was said about Israel or Bibi or Trump or America? Boo fucking who? So what? You're gonna cry? You're gonna cry yourself into a little ball? Oh my God, they said hurtful words. This hurts our image. I don't fucking care. Stop fucking crying. If you're so tough, if you're so good, why has it taken you 41 fucking years to deal with Hezbollah and you still haven't done it? If you're so efficient, if you're so mighty, maybe you're being too fucking soft. Maybe that's a problem. Maybe you need the decapitated Jolani to come in here and handle it. He said, no, but we can't allow Jolani to get in here because then we can't get him out. Well, what happened? I thought you were the mighty Israel, so you can get Hezbollah out, even though you haven't done it in 41 years, but you can't. But you can't get Jolani out. I don't understand what's going on here. I think you're being let go of this. You're letting this problem be in Jolani's hand instead of your hands. It's not your image that's going to get discredited if anything goes bad. It's going to be Jolani's, and maybe America's. We might not give a fuck, but that's what might happen. The press isn't going to say shit if Jolani, instead of emptying the building, destroying 200 houses, and maybe you had one jihadi in there. Let's say the buildings are empty, right? Let's say Trump is totally wrong or didn't phrase it correctly, and those buildings are empty. And you destroyed a 200 apartment building to get one jihadi. You emptied it, but you destroyed 200 homes to get one jihadi. Congratulations. You just recruited 50 jihadis because their homes got destroyed. That part doesn't stop. So you're inefficient, super efficient, 41-year war, because no one could do it better. They're the best. So at some point, you got to realize what you're saying. Like, you're being insane. If you're so good at it, why is it taking 41 years? It's because you're too humane. You're too civilized. Okay, Israel, you're too nice. You're too civilized. You're too humane. Let the decapitator take care of them.
Yes, Dice is the decapitator. Okay, Kat has one sentence she promises, and then I'm going to go to the rest of the responses. Kat lady?
You have no understanding. You have an ocean between you and the terrorists. And maybe we should run wars like Trump.
All right, Jeffrey.
Okay. look,
Guys, Petitos here. I know Armin asked last time for us to let him know right away. Sorry, Jeff. I didn't mean to cut you off.
that's all right. You want me to let Petito go, or
No, go ahead, Jeffrey. We'll go after this. We could go to Petito, but go on.
You bet. All my love,
After we-
Petito. Look, the friction we're seeing between President Trump and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu right now, it's real. That said, it's also pretty normal when you have two close allies facing different threat horizons. They overlap each other. We're very much aligned. We've seen this before. In the Second World War, the Americans and the British were the closest of allies, yet they constantly clashed over strategy, right? Churchill wanted to hit the soft underbelly of Europe through the Mediterranean. Roosevelt and Marshall were later focused on direct cross-channel invasions into France. They argued, and sometimes bitterly, they still stayed aligned, and President Trump has made that very clear. He deeply loves Israel, as he deeply loves Iranian people, in defeating Nazi Germany, in this case, the Mullah regime remnants. Today, the dynamic is similar with different kind of geography and stakes. So President Trump is carrying the weight of global force projection. He has to deal with Putin's criminalized counterintelligence state getting more increasingly belligerent in Europe. You have the Chinese Communist Party getting ready to hit Taiwan. And they need to keep American power credible across multiple theaters at once. And that forces him to think about munition stockpiles, industrial base surge, which we're in the process of doing, and having to juggle force projection in each of these areas where it doesn't disproportionately drain our resources. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, on the other hand, again, legitimately, is responsible for the little survival of the Jewish state. He's staring at Hezbollah entrenched on Israel's northern border. He's got regime remnant missiles and drones, and a regime remnant that has spent decades calling for Israel's destruction. For him, every kilometer of buffer in southern Lebanon or every degraded Iranian capability is existential, and that creates very different risk tolerances. So what's the issue? The practical reality both sides have to confront is that after intense fighting for the last couple of weeks, especially in the 15-day period of high-tempo operations, both the United States and Israel burned through enormous quantities of high-end munitions, long-range strike weapons, and most critically, defensive interceptors that are not infinite. We needed an operational pause to restock and, more importantly, to ramp up production at scale. That includes accelerating next-generation systems, particularly directed energy-based defenses, Iron Beam, like Heliads, all kinds of stuff. Lasers and other DE-based defenses don't have the supply chain issues. So what do we do in the interim? Here's where the broader coalition comes in. A strong U.S., Israeli, Saudi axis and the wider Abraham Accords framework remains the most powerful strategic asset we have against regime remnants' aggression in the interim. So in doing that, he's got to weigh how he voices things, right? It's not betraying Israel. It's not, look at me, I'm losing my hair. I've had to say this 5 times today. I'm going to have no hair by the time I'm done. Armin, I don't have luscious hair like you Persians, right? Look at me, I'm going bald. So it's not a betrayal. It's having to juggle all of these things. And yes, sometimes it bears itself out where people make off comments. Obviously, President Trump deeply loves Israel. Obviously, President Trump very much loves Iranian people. There are real power politic mechanics we have to face and deal with. And sometimes, when people are under high cognitive and emotional load, sometimes they say things that are off color. I'm going to make this is how I'm going to close it out.
Jeffrey, I'm
hold on. The guy who said you lived under a rock.
I'm already out of time, so if you could.
Go ahead. Then you go.
No, you go ahead because it's already just.
So for people who live under a rock,
yeah.
Well, Armin, did you know Armin's not living under a rock? Armin is dealing with a huge emotional and cognitive load, right? The reason he puts himself into his work, and correct me if I'm wrong, is because he knows exactly what the fuck those mullah assholes did in January. So sometimes things don't, people have an off or human moment. That happens at countries too, obviously there's no, like, we're not bailing on our ally. That's horseshit.
My name is Armin Navabi. I'm an Iranian political analyst with decades of experience fighting the Islamic regime inside and outside of Iran. Make sure you follow me for more, and also make sure you join our discussion group. I'm there almost every single day. Come talk to me there and the rest of the people there in our group calls. It's a great place to meet and talk to people who like talking about politics. The link is in the description and or in the bio. You could also get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. See you there.